Lord of Misrule by Jaimy won the National Book Award in 2010. It's a story about horse racing in the early 1970s at a rundown Riverside racetrack in West Virginia. Talks about horses that are on their last legs and people that are betting on their last bit of luck. It's a ruthless, violent world where even getting lucky can have fatal consequences. Gordon is an English professor at Western Michigan University, and she is an accomplished prose stylist. Every sentence in this book is crafted with imagination and boldness. Now, the language can make it a challenging read, and it may not be a book for everyone, but readers who are willing to immerse themselves in the dark, desperate world that Gordon has created will find themselves rewarded in the end with an experience that is haunting and strangely satisfying. So I'm joined today with three guests. Thank you for being here. Mr. Getto is an attorney and a photographer whose work has been exhibited at Art Prize in Grand Rapids. Jana Stewart is a former sports writer who was smart enough to get out of the newspaper business early on and has now just finished her master's in public health and natural resources. Neufeld is a literature professor at Eastern Michigan University with a specialty in medieval literature. Is that right?
Yeah.
Very good. So you're going to be able to talk to us about Lord of Misrule. You have some experience with that, right?
I have a lot of experience with Misrule. Yes.
Good, very good. All right, I'm drinking the Isle Royal, and I like it very much. I've had it before. Cam, what are you drinking?
I also am drinking the Isle Royale,
Yes.
which I've had before and which is a fantastic brew.
Yeah, very good. Jam?
Got the Moon Eye IPA all the way.
The Moon Eye, the fish, yeah.
I got the Blue Racer, which is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also
Nice.
lovely,
And-
and I'll say it matches your blouse.
And even more, if we're going to accessorize, it's got the word racer in it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know how I missed that.
I actually only realized it a few moments ago, but I thought I'd just...
So you might be the brilliant one at the table.
Oh, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's start right out of the gate. With this understanding. This is not an easy book to read. Gordon uses a lot of racetrack jargon, vernacular, dialect, changes points of view, and so it can be challenging to get into. I actually decided it was a little bit like doing math in my head. You know what I mean? Like I can do it, but it requires an enormous amount of focus and concentration from me. And I can get tired trying to do it. So there was a little bit of that. What was your impression of that language and the challenging entry into it?
I agree completely. I would find myself reading and it would occur to me that I had no idea who the narrative was talking about
Yeah.
or where exactly I was. And I'd have to go back a few pages to kind of reorient myself to some landmarks of where I did know who was who and where I was and what time I was inhabiting. And then, kind of read a second time through many passages. But doing that, I think I was able to at least stick to the narrative through most of the book, not all of it.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, so I did this similar kind of like the 2-page flip back occasionally. So I would be reading and then I'd be like, wait, what? And then go back 2 pages and just double check.
Right.
And I also sort of learned times of day not to read the book. So I just finished my finals this past week. So this was a rough week for me. So I was like, okay, I can't really read it at the end of the day.
This is not a book to read at the end of the day when you're drowsy. This is not
It
a
did not
book to
work.
read like
Yeah.
I'll read 2 or 3 pages now and then I'll come back. You need to commit to this
Yeah,
thing.
but it also, the reading went faster the more further into it I got, because you sort of get the rhythm and figure out. It was so slow at the beginning because I didn't understand what was happening.
Right. Christine, would you?
I like your allusion to math
Yeah.
because I was thinking it's a little bit like a puzzle. You have to figure out, oh, okay, medicine ed is talking in dialect. And so for me, I really like those kinds of puzzles. I like learning about the flow of a language. So I got really into medicine ed's voice
Right.
and was really compelled by it. I had a harder time learning the language of the racetrack. And so that was for me, but I realized that if you like the puzzle of the language, it's sort of like you have to sort of store up this new vocabulary that you're learning and get a sense for it. But the other thing is that rhythm part I liked as well, because I realized that there were some pages where, yeah, I'd have the page back, but the other thing I was doing was reading the page like a poem, where I was just sort of pausing over the language because there would be a phrase, and I was like, wow, that's just beautiful. And so it stopped being about the story, and it just started being about enjoying the language itself.
There are passages in here that, if I had time, I honestly would just read aloud to the camera. Because they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Some of them are funny. Some of them are heart-wrenching, I think, even. And I found the same thing, that once I started to just go, you know what, I'm going with this, the racetrack jargon, like what is a hot walker machine, or now I can't think of any other kind of example, but it was okay. I was like, I'm just going with that, I got it. But it's not going to be for everybody. Everybody's going to have a little more